Boom. Extra turn. Another extra turn. Another 200,000. Another extra turn. Oh my God, 229,000. Another extra turn. She can't be stopped. She can't be stopped. Hey guys, that's your Rage Legends. Welcome to the video. It's gonna be a good one today, guys. I'm thrilled to have you all here. Sending some love and some positive vibes, especially if you're going through something. If you need it out there, sending my love your way. Today, we're gonna take a look at a champion that this is not, and I repeat, not hyperbole. This is a champion that can out-nuke legendaries and out-nuke almost every mythical in the game, and she is an epic champion. And now here in 2025, she's better than she's ever been. A few different reasons. One, we have a build that if you guys can pull it off, is it really answers all of kind of the question marks on the best way to build Whisper. Should you go Relentless? Should you go Lethal? Should you go Savage, Crushing Ren, Phantom Touch? How do you best build her? Now we have everything solved for us. We're gonna talk about why in today's video and talk about how she is one of the best Chimera nukers, damage dealers out there inside the entire game. She stands almost toe-to-toe with a Toshiro. It's absolutely bonkers, and she's Void Affinity. You can use her everywhere.
Let her go.
Let's quickly review her kit and talks about what makes her so incredibly unique and so special when it comes to head and shoulders above PvE nukers on any epic inside the game. If you have her, congratulations, right? Empower. Put her on your wish list for blessings, right? Put her in there. I have a 2-star Awakened on my Whisper, but I do have her fully empowered. But anyway, on her A1, Softening Drive, attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance when booked to place the big version of Weaken. Now, there's two schools of thought here. Some players just try to min-max her attack, her damage, and they forego the Weaken. They bring it elsewhere on their teams. Some players like to have her provide that Weaken because it empowers the A2. The A2 is the highlight of her kit. In terms of damage, especially, attacks one enemy, increase attack on this champion, increase crit rate on this champion before attacking if the target has higher max HP than this champion, thus bosses, right? Will ignore defense if the target's under a Weaken. That's 100% ignore defense on the A2 ability. It's just absolutely bonkers. Pick your verbiage. She's filleting, she's devastating, she's just absolutely decimating her opponents with this ability. It stands rival to legendaries and, again, mythical nukers. It really does. It really, truly does. And you'll see that in today's video. And she gets better over time. Also, it's a 3-turn cooldown. Because of all the extra turns that we can get on Whisper, more on that in a moment, we can actually pretty much rely on her getting back to this increased crit ability pretty quickly, enough that we can justify building her with 70% crit rate to take advantage of the increased crit rate that she brings in her own kit. Ergo, more opportunity for damage when you're building this insane nuker. On the A3, Unyielding Flurry, attacks one enemy 2 times 4-turn cooldown when booked. Grants an extra turn if the target's under decreased defense and weaken. Ooh, so you're starting to see the extra turn synergy here. And the passive Unrelenting has a 10% chance of granting an extra turn whenever this champion lands a critical hit. Increased damage inflicted against bosses by 20%. So you can really start chaining these extra turns. You add her in a Relentless set, which, by the way, is my second favorite build after the one that I'm about to show you guys right now. And she's just gonna do so many extra turns that it even out damages, especially in longer battles, it even out damages foregoing Lethal or Savage, the ignore defense sets, because yeah, sure, you're going to ignore defense on the A2, provide they're under a weakened debuff, but even the A1, the A3 can hit hard and take advantage of ignore defense. So we can certainly still take advantage of it, even though we don't necessarily need it on the highlight of her nukage here on the A2. All right, so she also brings attack in dungeons by 29%. She's a go in so many different areas. Really quickly, let's give some love to hellhades.com and talk about all the areas that you can utilize Whisper. So they give her a 4.5. I'm going to give her a 5. Splitting hairs here. Look at these area rankings, guys. Literally on Doom Tower, I mean, Magma Dragon, they give her a 1. She's a 5. If you're looking for raw damage, she's going to bring it to the table for you, you know? Celestial Griffin a 5, Scarab King a 5, Frostbiter a 5, Eternal Dragon, Dark Fae, she's insane. She just absolutely just destroys Dark Fae. Phantom Shogun's Grove, she's going to be an insane monster of damage dealing, right? Sand Devil, Amos, Hydra, Clam Boss, Chimera, you name it, Fire Knight, a 5 out of 5 on normal mode. She is a boss killer and then some. Her multipliers are a 4 on the A1, a 3.8 on the A2, and a 2.6 on the A3, 2-time hitter. Let's take a look at the build. Did I mention that Whisper is a goddess? Did I mention that yet, guys? Yeah. I love you. Yeah, you're insane. You are insane.
I'ma come across that desk and snatch that horsehair wig off your bald head.
Anyway, what was I doing? What was I saying? It's Mercilous, man. Mercilous is the most busted set in the game, in my opinion. You got some Relentless, you got some Reflex, and you get some Savage and then some Lethal and then some, right? Not only do we get the attack, the crit damage, and the speed stats, sign me up, but we want her fast, you know? We want more turns out of Whisper. That is the name of the game, because more turns can proc even more turns on this champion. So what do we get? 30% chance of decreasing a random skill's cooldown by 1 turn when dealing damage. She's dealing damage on all of her abilities, so now we have a mini reflex set, which is also usable on Whisper. And then we get the ignore defense, the 35% ignore defense for the A1 and the A3. That's going to amount to some certainly extra damage that we'll certainly take on these fights. And then, you know, if they're not under weakened for some reason on the A2, it falls off or the opponent gets cleansed, she'll still have that ignore defense built into that hard-hitting ability. And then the magic of the Mercilous is if you can get it. I mean, I hope that you all get the accessories to pull off the 9-piece eventually, right? If you can get her on the 9-piece Merciless, you have 15% chance of getting an extra turn. So you're getting everything in one gear set. Now I had to make some stat sacrifices for this to happen. I have attack on the ring, which is nice, but I have attack on the amulet here. Obviously I want crit damage, but I use my rework and that's all I had for amulets and Night Revenant. So I'm gonna make it work. Even with attack, you should still go if you have it. And then I have accuracy on the banner. Now ideally I would try to find weaken from another champion and I would put her in an attack banner, but this is all I had for Knight's Revenant. And don't worry, if you don't have 9-piece Merciless, I'm going to show you the Relentless build that I would use instead in just a moment. I have crit damage on the gauntlets. I have attack percentage on the chest. I have speed with speed on the boots, and I'm looking for speed, crit rate, crit damage, and attack in my substats. My masteries on Whisper. This is my favorite masteries on Whisper. Of course, you can go accuracy, nothing wrong with that. I went for a little bit of defense. She is squishy, retribution, and deterrence. More hard-hitting A1s, more counterattacks, more weakens on those A1s are going to be fantastic. Also, I came down, you really want Cycle of Violence on this champion. She hits so bloody hard, you can get back to skills, kind of a mini built-in reflex kind of motif going on here in this mastery on the offense tree. So make sure you pick up Cycle of Violence. And then we're going to end with War Master on Whisper. She is the boss killer, so what better tier 6 mastery than War Master? Let's talk quickly about blessings. So blessings, Saf from HH Gaming Network YouTube, and I'll link the video for you guys, put out a video earlier last year talking about all the damage output in long playtesting sessions with all of the different blessings and all the different masteries, ignore defense, not ignore defense, extra turns, phantom touch, crushing rend, yada, yada, yada. TLDR of that video is, if you're looking for higher damage potential over longer periods or short periods for that matter, you go Phantom Touch on Whisper, right? If you're looking for a more consistent damage output, you go with Crushing Rend based on his studies, okay? I found that kind of interesting, but either way, I'm going Phantom Touch, right? I want those high damage potential outputs, so I would recommend Phantom Touch as your mastery or blessing of choice, on Whisper. Relics, well, I have Unholy Grail because it's better than nothing, right?
You flat out insult me.
So relics, go with an attack relic if you have it. If I was going to, the best that I have on my account, I will say is on to Shiro right now, and that is the Irethi Connery.
Irethi Coronet.
Yeah, that. Wearer's damage increases by 1% each time they place a debuff. So if you're going to be using the accuracy in the weekend, maybe you can go that direction. Obviously, there's even better ones like the event relic right now. Let me pull it up. The Cat's Gaze. Oh my God. Wearer ignores 10% of the target's defense when attacking enemies with higher max HP. That's almost always going to be the case. And again, that will apply to the A1 and the A3. Congratulations if you have it. There's a bunch of mythical relics too. I'm not going to name them all, but go with attack relic on this champion. So my second favorite build, guys, I just have it on Lazarius, and I'm so broke silver right now, so I'm not going to mule it on over. But my second favorite build is going to be Relentless and Cruel. Relentless and Cruel on Whisper, right? You're going to get those extra turns. I would even go over the Ignore defense sets on Whisper. Relentless going to give you the extra 18% extra turn chance, parlayed with the extra turn chance on our A3 and the passive, and now we're cooking. And then the Cruel is going to give the attack and a little bit of Ignore defense. So I would still prioritize speed, attack, and obviously crit rate, getting that to at least 70%. So the stats here, again, we have 73 crit rate and as much attack as we can get. This is the particular build that we're using here on Lazarius, but on Lazarius, we would need the 100% crit rate. So guys, I'm going to Doom Tower hard. I'm going to put her on stage 110 Magma Dragon, where she only gets a 1 out of 5 on the Hades website. I'm going to have Wixwell. He's going to go in there and only uses A1 against the Magma Dragon. He's going to be my main provoker on this team. I have Reliquary Tender there for heals. I have Lydia there for debuffs and the weekend, most importantly, right? And then I have Toshiro on the team in God tier gear, fully awakened, right? I'm just going to super raid. I'm going to auto the whole thing. I'll come back to you guys at the dragon so you can see the hits, but I just want to compare the damage here. I think you guys might be surprised. All right, guys, that was fast. I shouldn't have cut because she was just decimating those waves, even though she's a single target hitter. It's really insane. All right, so here we go. I already saw her get a cooldown, another decreased cooldown, right? Oh, it's a magical thing. So now we have the debuffs up. So now we're going to start cooking in terms of damage, right? So she got the War Master proc there. That was just an A1 that we just saw. Her A2 should be up right now. So let's see what she can deal here. Oh, no, that was her A3, but she gets the extra turn. 276,000. Compare that to Toshiro's incredibly hard-hitting A1. Toshiro, by the way, is also in 6-piece Mercilous set, decked out again with the relic, okay? Look at her go. Look, she's unstoppable. I just wanna show you all those extra turn chances she has in her kit. She's a maniac. I love her in Dark Fae. She just keeps taking, look at her go. Oh, there's something very satisfying, right? Isn't there? About watching Whisper just cook, right? Relic Tender comes in there, picks up Wixwell. All right, let's get some chain, some extra turns again. If you guys are familiar with Whisper, if you played around with Whisper before, how many turns have you seen her do? It's like, it's just fun to watch Whisper. All right, so damage-wise, she puts out 2 million. I mean, just all the extra turns. She hogged all the turns, thus she hogged all the damage. Really quickly, I want to show a Fire Knight before we jump right into Chimera or in Hydra 2. This is going to be our Fire Knight stage 25 team. I have Whisper, Cold Heart, Deacon, Apothecary, and Tree Shield Not. I'll come back to you guys at the Fire Knight. All right, guys, here we go against the Fire Knight. It's insane. You wouldn't think of her as a Fire Knight champion with only one two-time hitter in her kit. It's just all those turns. And even on the wave content, again, just seeing her with the with so many extra turns, so many turn cooldowns as well, decreased cooldowns, it really is something to watch, right? So let's see if she goes A2 here. We do want the increased crit rate, and there it is. So she gets the extra turn, goes back in, lands the weekend, takes another extra turn. Look at her. She's a one-man wrecking crew.
It's Britney, bitch.
Man. Oh, man, Whisper. She is, it's weird. She's kind of an old school champion. Look at her go. This is, Oh man, she's just the best. She's an old school champion. In the beginning, you know, I feel like it took a long time for people to come around on the magic of Whisper, but this is just, she's next level. She's just one of the best epics in the entire game right now. So let's take a look at the damage. Actually, let's just end this. There you go. Extra turn, not that we need it, but yeah, Whisper just getting the freaking job done there. Insane damage. What a nuker. Let's go to Hydra real quick. So guys, in Hydra, I have her on a little bit more of a you know, end game team to say the least. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, she took a little hit in Hydra. So did every single target nuker in the game, right? After the changes. So she's still, I really truly feel she's still top tier, you know, for Hydra Clan Boss still to this day, especially when you have the Hex. That way you can get the extra damage on the other targets with Hex, right? And single targets, 10%, you're getting some significant damage. So you want to make sure that you have a Hex champion on the team or a curse set champion on the team with her, right? Obviously an AoE weakened champion like a Lydia wants to be on the team as well. But you know, the RNG, you don't know exactly where she's going to be hitting into. She will get plenty of extra turns, as you can see here. And she's going to be a top tier damage dealer for a lot of players out there, just not quite as good as she once was. But the good news is she's still an elite Hydra DPS. She works obviously on any affinity as your DPS, right? Being Void, and where she maybe lacks a little bit from what she once was in Hydra. Oh, she made it up in a big way in Chimera. Let's go ahead and take a look at Chimera here. You can see a little bit of her damage right now. And again, she tacked into a poison cloud. Certainly not ideal. But yeah, I mean, it's still a significant damage coming out of this champion regardless, right? And a lot of turns as well. Let's go over to Chimera. So guys, we're going to run her on this Chimera team, and I am not going to keep you the entire battle. Certainly not. But I am going to run the entire thing to see what we can do with Whisper, right? So we have Mikage, we have Krisk on the team, we have Androck on the team, we have Senna on the team. It's a buff extension team that thrives off of turn meter fill, right, with Senna on the squad. So we change Androck into the other form to land his weaken. Of course, weaken is so important. She has it too, so maybe we could get by, but for trials, he has other debuffs as well. So I digress. So let's go in there, start out with a 304,000 hit for Chimera. That's insane, right? She's just something else, man.
Relationships are hard. So today I wanted to talk about how to end one.
And she's one of the best. She's really SSSS tier Chimera clan boss damage dealer. If you're not using her, I implore you, use her. What are you waiting for? Let's take a look and see if she can chain some turns together here. So Unyielding Fury, again 100k. We weren't under decrease defense, and we get why did she not get the turn there? I missed it. My bad. Because that was the A3, correct? She's squishy. Just make sure you have a reviver on the squad, right? Gonna go in there. 126,000 off her A1. She reduced the cooldown of her A2. 260,000. I mean, you guys know Chimera. He's tanky. He's super tanky. These are huge numbers from an epic champion. Here's the Unyielding Fury. Here's the extra turn. We go A1. I mean, look at how much the damage is stacking up already on this champion, right? And she can bring the weaken on the A1 too. It's really just bonkers. Let's go a little bit more. I want to see a few more hard hits and see if we can get any of those chain extra turns that we love to see. Now, an important note on Whisper, what makes her so incredibly good, even when compared to the Newts of the world, right? We're talking the best of the best, the big enemy max HP nukers, the Newts, I'm just looking for those numbers here. The Newts, the Acrisias, right? Why can she hold it? Why can she do even better than them? Because she's not damage capped. She's not damage capped like enemy max HP nukers are. The more stats we can pile on her, we have a, you know, for endgame, our attack could use some work. It's only around 6,000 or so, right? I've seen builds that are approaching 9,000 attack. You can scale up that damage with the gear, with relics, with more awakening on Whisper, and that damage cannot be capped, right? So there we go with the A3 again, 300,000. We go back into the A2. Now another 300,000. I mean, you guys can see how this can just keep stacking up. I'm going to come back to you guys at the end of this battle, and we'll see how this team does. But already out the gate, you can see we're starting to get there. We're starting to stack up some real damage here. It's nice to have that A1 hitting pretty hard too on those ally attacks if you're running a team with an ally attacker. So A1, 207,000 as well. Oh man, she's a beast. All right, guys, I'm gonna let it run. I don't want to let you guys go because I'm having so much fun with Whisper. She's insane. But how many times do I gotta say it? You guys get the point. All right, I'll come back at the end of this battle and we'll see what we can do. Boom. Extra turn. 2. Boom, 353. Another extra turn. 164. Another extra turn. Another 200,000. Another extra turn. Oh my God, 229,000. Another extra turn. 100. Oh my God. She can't be stopped. She can't be stopped.
It's only a game.
All right, guys, not too bad at all. Nightmare difficulty, by the way, 164 million. Ideally, we would have somebody with decreased defense on an AoE with Weaken, like a Lydia on the team. We were able to get the decreased defense from the passive of Krisk and from the A1 of Androck on his second form. But again, ideally, it's more dependable. We want the decreased defense and the Weaken up all the time. Also, trial-wise, a little lacking, to be fair. We only hit 3 trials here, so I am going to redo. Specifically, in a situation like this, on a team like this, Toshiro would deal more damage because he's going to be joining in with the A1 of Mikage because they're both Shadowkin. But either way, this is insane damage, right? I mean, you can't get this damage from legendaries, let alone most mythicals in the game. Whisper is a goddess in Chimera, as she is in almost every area of Raid Shadow Legends. Thank you for watching till the end of the video. Let me know what you think of Whisper, and as always, take care, guys.